up, y'all? It's your boy, Jay Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment, and we're about to get into this week's boxing talk. PBC is making plans for two big welterweight events. First up, it's Manny Pacquiao taking on Keith one-time Thurman. This fight is in negotiations right now, and these guys are planning to come together in the summer of 2019, perhaps in the month of July is the target date on Showtime pay-per-view. And also you have Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr., IBF welterweight champion, looking to take on WBC welterweight champion Shawn "Showtime" Porter in perhaps a Fox pay-per-view event sometime in September. These fights right here are looking very good and possibly are going to happen and be announced in the near future because all teams are in negotiation and they're all under the Al Haymon banner. So it makes it very easy for these fights to be made. And Manny Pacquiao is the biggest name in the welterweight division. He is the sweepstakes that everyone is trying to land right now. And Errol Spence called out Manny Pacquiao in front of 47,000 fans in his hometown. And Pacquiao had accepted the challenge. But now he is looking in the direction of Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is considered still to be the #1 welterweight in the division. The man that had unified the division and beat two top welterweights in the top of their game in Danny Garcia and Showtime Shawn Porter. You know, Keith Thurman took over 2 years of a layoff and came back and didn't look so good against a guy like Josecito Lopez. So, you know, people are saying that Keith Thurman ain't what he used to be, and Errol Spence is the man now in the welterweight division. But both Thurman and Pacquiao hold a WBA welterweight title. It's a very good, interesting fight. Keith Thurman is much bigger than Manny Pacquiao. He's strong, he can box, he uses his jab well, he goes to the body well, and he's also a very hard-hitting puncher. He hasn't knocked out anybody in quite some time, and the last time Manny Pacquiao was knocked out was against Juan Manuel Marquez in their 4th fight. Pacquiao is still a live underdog going into this fight. He's 40 years old. He's still quick. He still has good foot movement, and he still has good, decent punching power. He's not the explosive puncher that he once was, but this is a fight where, you know, I have to lean more towards Keith Thurman because he's the younger man, and I like both guys. I think Manny Pacquiao of old would have destroyed a guy like Keith Thurman, but I believe right now at this point in time, Keith Thurman has a very good shot of winning this fight. Will it be an easy fight? I don't think so. I think Manny Pacquiao will give him one hell of a fight, but just like Jeff Horn, a very big welterweight, gave Manny Pacquiao problems in that fight that they had. Even though I believe Pacquiao won that fight, I believe that Keith Thurman possesses an even bigger problem than what Jeff Horn did. Not only because of the size factor, because he also has the element of power and boxing skills that he brings to the table. For Pacquiao, it's going to be a very tough fight. Will this fight take place in New York City? I hope so. Most likely it's going to land up in Las Vegas. I don't think it's going to happen in Los Angeles at all. But those are the 3 areas where they're looking to set up this fight in a venue for a pay-per-view showdown in July. And I can't wait. It's a great, great fight. You know, it's to show who is the man in the welterweight division. If Keith Thurman beats Manny Pacquiao, he becomes the big star of the welterweight division because he takes on a guy that has that star power, which I believe will do a very good pay-per-view number. It will surpass Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. I truly believe that. It could do over 400,000 pay-per-view buys if those two get together. As for Errol Spence and Shawn Porter, that's a great matchup. You know, Shawn Porter, if he's willing to step up and finally take on Errol Spence, it's a great matchup. It's one that I believe Errol Spence could definitely win. I think that Errol Spence is just big. Technically, he's a better fighter, better boxing skills. He goes to the body very well, and he's a very hard-hitting puncher. We saw in Shawn Porter in his last performance against Ugas, we saw that Porter didn't fight the typical style that he fights in most of his fights. He decided to box more. He boxed well in certain spurts, but he wasn't too aggressive, and he let Ugas, the bigger guy, you know, do more damage to him. And it was a very close fight. Some people thought that he actually lost that fight. I thought he just squeaked it out in a very close fight, but he definitely did not look good in that fight, and he can't do that against a guy like Errol Spence. He has to fight the way he fought against a guy like Keith Thurman. You know, that fight right there, Keith Thurman was able to win because he was able to box and create certain space. in that fight. And that's the same thing Errol Spence is going to do. Spence is going to create that space. We saw the boxing ability that he had against Mikey Garcia, and it led up to be a very good boxing clinic for Errol Spence. So I believe that Shawn Porter will definitely lose this fight against Errol Spence, because he will get outboxed or he will get taken apart by the bigger, stronger man with better punching power. And Shawn Porter, you know, I like him a lot. He's a great, humble man and an ambassador to the sport of boxing. And I believe that he's a tough fighter for anybody as well. But I see Errol Spence winning this fight to a unanimous 12th round decision and winning the WBC welterweight title to unify with his IBF belt. And then we have the showdown perhaps in 2020, where we will see the winners of both of these fights come together for a big fight showdown. Now the question is, Floyd Money Mayweather is the promoter that's going to be involved in both of these fights. Is he willing to let Manny Pacquiao, which he's going to be making money off of him, you know, is he willing to let him take that risk to fight Keith Thurman? You know, because there's also the possibility of him coming out of retirement and having this rematch with Manny Pacquiao. This is the fight that Pacquiao signed up to PBC for. This is what Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather have planned all along, is to milk Manny Pacquiao and have him fight their fighters to make a lot of money in big events like the Adrian Broner or Keith Thurman event, or even Danny Garcia if he was able to get into the mix with these welterweight showdowns. So, you know, they're making money off of Manny Pacquiao, and Pacquiao is hoping that Floyd Mayweather will come out of retirement so that they can have their rematch. Which one is a much more bigger fight? Letting Pacquiao fight somebody like Keith Thurman or Errol Spence, or Floyd Mayweather coming out of retirement to face Manny Pacquiao in a rematch? I believe Pacquiao versus Mayweather will outsell and be the biggest draw out of all these fights combined. So is Floyd Mayweather willing to take the risk of losing out in a major big payday that can pay him hundreds of millions of dollars just to let Manny Pacquiao get a nice payday against a guy like Keith Thurman? If he wins, then of course the Floyd Mayweather fight becomes even bigger, and then people start talking that Floyd Mayweather doesn't want to come out of retirement to face Manny Pacquiao after he defeats a guy like Keith Thurman. If that happens, you know, that's a very big if for Manny Pacquiao to defeat Keith Thurman. So, you know, we have to see if Floyd Mayweather is going to step in and intervene and really make a fight with Manny Pacquiao before he signs a contract with Keith Thurman for a July showdown. Right now, it's just rumors. You know, industry sources are saying that these guys are heavily into negotiations and that these fights are definitely going to happen, but that could all change. You know, the same way Pacquiao said that he was going to fight Errol Spence in front of all those fans on pay-per-view, he could definitely turn around and make a deal with Floyd Mayweather, and they could just come out of nowhere and announce that they're going to fight. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, because like I said, there is way too much money on the table to risk it all for this fight right here. Even though it's a great fight, Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather 2 is a much bigger event. And that's my final take on all these fights that are possibly going to take place. So I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to my YouTube channel right here, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. Please hit that little red subscribe button. Hit that bell icon, hit that like button, that share button, drop a comment. Follow me on all social media platforms, on Twitter, on Instagram, and also join the Facebook boxing group page, all under the same name, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. I'm J. Calderon, Stanley Entertainment. Thanks for your support, keep watching, and please subscribe.